Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video, and this time something a little bit different. This is going to be a review of the Lenovo G27q-20. Now, to preface before I start, this isn't going to be a detailed review or breakdown of its response times, in comparisons to others. This is a breakdown for those who have seen this monitor online, like I did, and couldn't find a single piece of information or review on it that wasn't German. So hopefully this can fill a little void until the professionals get their hand on it. And also, this was an upgrade for myself from a 7-year-old plasma Sony 1080p TV. So this was always going to be a massive improvement for me. However, that hasn't stopped me from really paying attention to the details and making sure that what I tell you is as unbiased as possible and hopefully as beneficial to you if you're looking at buying this. So without further ado, let's have a look at the details. So we'll start off with general image quality, and to me, it's absolutely fantastic. Yes, it's a big jump from what I've come from, but I've seen and used my fair share of 4K monitors, high refresh rate panels, and this, to me, I can't tell the difference. The quality is brilliant. It's sharp, it's rich, the transitions are smooth, the colors are deep. And straight out of the box, all the settings are absolutely perfect to the point where I don't intend to change anything. The response times, I'm not a massive nerd when it comes to those. So the normal mode is apparently 5 milliseconds. That's perfect for myself. You can get more out of it with 3 milliseconds in the extreme mode, and a little bit more out of the others. But for me, it's perfect. The 99% sRGB is perfect for me when I'm using Photoshop for color clarity. You can see the viewing angles are perfect. They're really nice, an anti-glare screen. And here you can see in a really dark room, there is an ever so slight color light bleed, shall I say, in the three corners. And again, that's to my knowledge going to vary depending on the panel, but this really doesn't bother me. We're jumping in here to looking at the Ghost of Tsushima. Again, we're running, I believe this is 60 Hertz on the PlayStation 4 Pro. Color is really brilliant. Excuse the quality in terms of the camera. Obviously, I am still using my phone. This isn't exactly what I expect to do with my YouTube channel, but I thought, like I said, it would be beneficial. So hopefully you get something and you can tell a little bit out of, these videos. But like I said, it's rich, it's smooth. I couldn't wish for anything more, if I'm completely honest. Now again, the camera quality will not do this justice, but the HDR on this monitor, to my eyes, is fantastic. The blacks are so deep and the colours are so vibrant that at some points when I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima, I do have to up the brightness up quite a bit, to be honest. Like I say, the blacks are really that dark in some of the shadowed areas. You can see it's quite interesting that the monitor recognises the PlayStation 4 Pro is outputting at 4K and actually registers that, showing you that 60 Hertz, HDR and FreeSync are always on automatically. You can only turn them off, which for me it's a nice creature comfort. I don't have to worry about it. It just adapts to what's being put through the HDMI port. You can see all the game modes here. The overdrive settings, normal, as I said, was 5 milliseconds. Extreme is 3 milliseconds, and the MRT that you see just underneath there is 1 milliseconds. I'm only going to put it into extreme, so to 3 milliseconds in here. And to be honest, if I did do this a little bit earlier, it wasn't quite noticeable on camera. However, it was interesting that the earlier video shots of the scenery in extreme mode, I could actually notice ever so slight jutters in extreme compared to normal or off. It was much smoother. So obviously that might be something that you can experiment with yourself, but normal at 5 milliseconds was more than perfect for me. And funnily enough, I actually did find that the extreme that I'm about to play on Destiny was far less noticeable during gameplay than it was watching just a normal video. You can see the settings here for the Xbox Series S, 1440p, 120 Hz, variable refresh rate, thanks to the monitor, obviously depending on the game that you're playing. This was a little bit of a faff to set up, so hopefully this might help someone if you're just setting up your Xbox, or at least when you get round to it with your new monitor. But moving on to the obligatory gameplay, or first-person shooter gameplay on Destiny. Now, please excuse the appalling show that is about to be witnessed, but my experience of this all in all was actually quite pleasant in terms of the refresh rate. I didn't find anything too jarring. Nothing was really standing out for me. I didn't notice any drops or in quality or tears in the screen. So I was quite happy with the overall outcome of the experience. This actually was my first time playing multiplayer, which is obviously at 120 hertz. So yeah, I did somewhat enjoy it, except for the sheer amount of times that I died. I also just want to make it clear, if anyone was paying attention to the bottom right hand corner or some of the corners where it looks like there's a bit of light bleed coming through, that isn't actually from the monitor to my eyes. It was more of the reflections coming from my desk and the surrounding area. I tried to darken the room as much as possible, but I do have a light table, so without awkwardly placing things around, that's that light reflection coming through there. Any bleed that is recognisable in really dark scenes, again, doesn't hinder the experience in the slightest. And as you can see, this response time, definitely don't play like this on the on my older monitor or on my older TV. It definitely does help in terms of the reaction times for a noob like myself. So my overall gaming experience with this monitor has been brilliant. I've really genuinely loved every single second. I'm going to continue to love it. One thing I didn't mention, obviously dead pixels were always a worry, I guess, when you're getting a brand new monitor. There's nothing here to report, so again, quality with that is brilliant. I was torn between a curved monitor with one of the ASOS Tufts, or this. I'm genuinely really glad I went for this one, obviously price wise, but also the edge-to-edge display with the really small bezels really makes for a great viewing experience when watching movies and playing games. Just kind of immerses you even more. So yeah, it's brilliant. So the build quality, this, I read somewhere that it was a little bit plasticky and felt a little bit cheap. I completely disagree. The base is extremely hefty. It's really heavy, heavy duty. It sat on my desk where I play Gran Turismo with the sim rig attached to the actual table itself. Obviously a lot of judder, a lot of feedback coming through the steering wheel. I have no problem with the monitor remaining as still as possible. The base itself is, like I said, really strong. The V-shape probably helps with the sturdiness. However, the design really isn't my taste. I'm not a fan of blue. I think it's a bit cliche of a design in terms of gaming styles, but it might be to some of yours. So, you know, bear that in mind. I just cover it up with the mouse mat, to be honest. Again, the monitor, the mechanism is really strong, really stiff. Like I said, there's no drop. I do use it quite low down. I prefer to sit quite low down, so it really isn't an issue. But I've never had a problem where when it's high up, it starts to fall down. You know, the out of the box, it is really stiff. It's got a really strong mechanism. Tilt there, again, requires quite a lot of force, so you don't have it dropping after a long period of time. Quite a nice angle, especially like you say, if you have it low down, you're looking down at it. It's quite nice. However, the angle pointing down isn't the best. I would probably prefer it the other way around, if I'm completely honest, should I ever want to have mount it or sit it quite high up from where I was. Yeah, you can see the buttons there. Not the best positioning, to be honest. They're a little bit far out of the reach, and again, it's a bit hard to find out what you're pressing. The ports just underneath, one HDMI, one display port and an aux hidden right underneath, but again, easily accessible, nothing's really in the way. And this is the monitor at its highest and at its lowest, so you've got plenty of range to work with. So having said all that, would I recommend it? Yeah, 100%. I wouldn't have any hesitation to recommend this, especially if you can get it on the sale like I did. I mean, 250 quid for this is an absolute joke. It's a bargain. I got mine at spring sale, so there's no reason it might not come back in sale during the summer. Definitely Cyber Monday and Black Friday, and obviously over the Christmas period. I don't doubt that it'll come back into sale again. Obviously, I got mine from the Lenovo store. That was the Lenovo website, shall I say. That was the only place that I really saw the price, at least in the UK, come down to 250. Yeah, like I said at the very beginning, the gap between my previous TV and this, it was always going to be a massive improvement. There was never going to be any doubt in my mind that obviously I was going to be wowed by this monitor. However, I think even if someone was upgrading from a 1080p 75 hertz, 1080p, even 120 hertz, I genuinely think it would be worth the upgrade. The HDR is fantastic. It's a bit weird that you can't swap it from automatic to just always on, but I guess that saves the hassle of having to swap it on and off if you don't want it. Yeah, the only thing I can think of that I'd really like, perhaps a new stand, new base. Not my cup of tea. I think it's a bit of a cliche gaming design, and the blue, not my favourite, but that's preference. So maybe some out there that like it, and I'd like it to probably swivel. But again, that isn't a massive issue. I haven't got much room to be sitting either side of my monitor and to need it to swivel, so straightforward. It's a probably creature comfort and a bit of a luxury if I wanted, if I'm really being honest. So it's not that much of an issue. But like I said, overall, this is an absolute bargain in my opinion compared to everything else in the market at the moment. And yeah, I wouldn't have any hesitation to say that anyone who bought this would be extremely happy with it. So that's my review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know how many of these I'll do, whether there's anything in the future that I'll feel like I could review or be of any use to you guys, my viewers, but we'll see in the future. But until then, I'll see you later, guys. Bye.